right, this is probably one of the more brutal sessions that I've ever done. It was very, very hard from start to finish as I had to combine two body parts that I used to train pretty frequently together but don't anymore, legs and back. This program is very similar to what I've done in Hammerhead, or I've put together in Hammerhead rather. It's available for $60, and that's my Cashapp, Bootsonly, and my Venmo, Larry Brown 116. I don't have a website, so that's pretty much how I sell my programming. But if you're interested, please let me know. DM me on any of my social media accounts, and I'll get that to you. So, uh, warming up with some chained leg curls. The reason for that is that I wanted a strong contraction at the top. The straight weight was only about 150. So if you use chains, something to keep in mind that generally most gyms don't have a lot of chain. I'm lucky mine does, but if yours does not, you can get away with looping a band around the base of the leg curl and then getting it around the pad and then just pulling it up. So it'll do the same thing. It won't be as heavy, but the tension will be absolutely crazy. So it's something that I advise to a lot of people. Another thing that you want to do is that you do want to take off the accommodating resistance and really just bang out some reps. Here you saw me do 2 sets of leg curls with chain. Now you'll see me do 2 sets of leg curls without chain, just trying to get as many reps as I possibly can. It's important to keep your feet, your toes pointed forward while you're doing this so you can get a really good stretch in the hamstrings also at the bottom. So we reach critical mass there, failure. Moving on to the adductor machine. Now, a lot of people think that this is a feminine machine or anything like that. Fellas, I need you to listen to me closely when I tell you that this is a great exercise to shorten the thigh gap, increase your squats, increase your leg press, and just fill out your legs really, really good. A lot of mass comes from doing this particular movement, and I think that is one that's discounted a lot just because a lot of fellas have seen women do it and they just don't want to get made fun of. I don't really get made fun of. I care about results. So I want you all to understand that when you're doing this exercise, you want to make sure that you're squeezing the pad together. And ideally, I should have held it for a second in the contracted position, but that's neither here nor there. So a couple of warm-up sets there, and now moving on to something that's going to hit the adductors even more. This is the belt squat. So as you can see, my feet are wide and I'm pushing my knees out, mainly because I really want this to be an adductor and a ham emphasis. Because I am combining two body parts, I had to pick a movement that kind of condensed working two body parts together, or at least hitting them in a way that I think would be beneficial. So I made sure that I put the belt in a way where I really had to sink down into the bottom. And again, putting my feet wide and pushing my knees out, I was able to get that adductor hamstring complex, but also I was able to get a little bit of leg too. So generally, I don't like having this particular movement in this early, but seeing as that I was up against the wall and I had to just put these two dense body parts together, this made for an excellent choice to throw in for that particular day. So if you have the hammer strength machine, it's very heavy duty, so you want to make sure that you're really careful on that. Warming up here on the leg press, and the goal is just to get blood into the muscle. I could have used a leg extension, but I didn't want to. Wasting time is kind of a bad word. I wanted to use an alternative method to warm up the quads and get some good work in, so I just went ahead and did a high rep set on the leg press and then went straight to my heavy set. Nothing really special here, just making sure I controlled the negative, making sure I sat deep down into the stretch position, and my left knee started bothering me a bit. So rather than try to go for 20 reps like I had originally planned, I just kind of cut it short a little bit. That's one reason I don't like starting out with the belt squat. If I hadn't done leg extension, it just makes my left knee feel absolutely like ball sack. As you can see, I'm mile repping the weight, mainly just concerned about that knee. I don't want it to snap, and then my mind just went to different places, and wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. So it was just better for me to just kind of cut my losses and just, again, not go to failure, but go close to it as possible. And here we have the hack squat, which is reverse banded, only 2 plates. Didn't need a lot because I'm really just trying to emphasize the negative on here. So I'm just really trying to sink down and push back up. Nothing insane, nothing crazy, but making sure I get a good few reps like this. And, I think I didn't get 10. I for sure did not get 10. As you can see, I pushed myself up because I felt twinges in my lower back again, keeping lower back integrity, trying to do things to keep it going pretty smooth without compromising that body part, because I did pop it a few weeks ago doing one-arm barbell rows, and it kind of hasn't been the same. So I've been doing things to rehab it, like reverse hypers and just general resting, but it still just scares the living crap out of me that a disc could shoot across the room. So again, hitting failure for 2 sets is something that I did here, and I'm not going to really bore you with anything other than you just want to make sure that you're paying attention to the eccentric. You're going to say failure, and if you need to rack that weight at any sign of hurt or pain or anything like that. That's the thing about being in the weight room for a while. You tend to know what to do when things go left. And if you don't, then you learn very quickly. All right, that was the last leg movement, and with that, we just move right straight into back. So as you can see, I've chained these up as well. These are the chest supported rows from Arsenal Strength on the Humbler. Yeah, this is kind of a beast. So instead of just trying to do field sets and all that, I went straight into the weight. That's something that you can do as well. If you know your body and you know what your body is capable of, you can just go straight into your working weight pretty rapidly. Now, with that being said, there are some caveats and nuances with that. Number 1, you have to know your body. 2, you have to know your strength level. 3, are you jacked up off of any type of caffeine or stimulant like I was this morning? That's something to also keep in mind. So, it's not for everybody, and I'm not saying don't do field sets. If you're inside of a workout like this, maybe one probably would have been a little bit more beneficial for me, but also at the same time, working against the clock and not having a whole lot of time, and that workout had already dragged on about an hour and a half, and I just couldn't say no to not finishing it. So a couple of sets banded there, and then I take the chains off, or chained rather, take the chains off, and then just go to town on some failure reps, making sure I get a good stretch in the bottom position. Then moving on to another rowing movement. This one was the hammer strength one-arm row. At least started out as a one-arm row. And here's the thing to remember, is that my stability at that point in the workout with all I did for legs was absolutely shot. So I wasn't going to be able to really stabilize a dumbbell or a barbell like I needed to. So it was just smarter for me to do plate loading machines and really just work on the range of motion. So if you do perform legs and back on your own, or if you do follow Hammerhead, know that your stability is going to be shot, and I do advise a lot of big boy stuff in there. So that particular program is not for the faint of heart. So ended up doing 2 arms at the time, just cut down on a little bit of time, not too much, and really just forcing my elbows back, trying to keep my chest close to the pad as possible, and really working that range of motion like I needed to be able to get a good back contraction in the rhomboids. And finishing off, just setting up the lat pull down machine, setting up for some really hard work on the lat pull down machine. Guys, just 1 set here. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I am simply looking for a rest pause set, and just to finish the workout off. Wasn't looking for a cluster. I wanted to get as many reps as I possibly could, then rest a little bit, get as many reps as I possibly could, again, rest a little bit, and get as many reps as I possibly could. So that's something that, I enjoy doing from time to time, and it seems that I only had one set left. That was the best way to do it. So, this workout did take a while. It really did take a while, and I probably could have giant set it back or anything like that. But in my opinion, that just would have been cheating the grind, and I'm an embracer of the grind. So there you go. A Hammerhead inspired workout. Again, you can get that through any of my social media channels just by DMing me and, sending $60 out of Cashapp or Venmo. Again, that is on your screen right now. And, I really appreciate the time. Really appreciate that you took the time to check this video out. Hopefully you picked up some tips, and hopefully you'll pick up some of my programming. So until then, guys, y'all keep banging, keep working hard, and let's have a good weekend. Until then, Larry Brown signing out.